Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the 28-day intermittent reset for thyroid webinar, and I'm going to ask you a few questions just to get started. So, how many of you are here because you're a little confused about how to eat with a thyroid condition? And how many of you are here because you struggle with weight gain or are unable to lose weight? And what about this? How many of you are here because you feel tired, stressed, and at times maybe even a little bit hopeless? So if any of these resonate with you, you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you were able to join us. So I'm going to tell you in this webinar how you can lose weight effortlessly, why it's not just about the calories, why it's actually about the hormones, what intermittent fasting is, and how you can make huge strides in your health in just 28 days, despite how long you've had your health condition. So before we begin, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Tiffany, and I'm a board certified and licensed nutritionist, and I'm the owner and CEO of Rock Bottom Wellness. I struggled for years with symptoms of thyroid dysfunction before I ever got a diagnosis. And when I finally did, it was thyroid cancer that had spread to the lymph nodes. And I thought, okay, I can deal with this. Maybe this is the cause of all of my symptoms. And that really wasn't the case. So I suffered from severe depression, anxiety, food sensitivities I wasn't really even aware of, low or non-existent energy, hair loss, poor sleep, and I had a hard time losing weight, and sometimes I had even random weight gain that had nothing to do with what I was eating or how much I was exercising. So at the time, I was a teacher, and I taught biology to high school and anatomy and physiology at the college level, and I did love my job. But when I got to the point of standing in my shower every morning and crying before I had to go to work because of how miserable I felt, I knew it was time to quit my job, and I had hit my rock bottom. So I quit the job because I was feeling so miserable, but I knew that in order to feel much better, I needed to reach past my healthcare team in order to get the help that I needed. So they were helping me survive my cancer and my diagnosis, but I really appreciate that. But I just don't think there's a lot of interest or understanding of how I could actually thrive and feel good. So at the time, I didn't even know what that looked like. I just wanted to be normal. And I really did not know what that was. I just knew I couldn't be where I was at the time. So through a lot of self-education and going back to school, I was able to get my master's in nutrition, which helped me have the knowledge behind to figure out what I needed to do to feel much better. So I started my business called Rock Bottom Wellness to help those shortcut their journey back to health, just like I did several years ago. So I've been working with people over the last several years, and people are making amazing changes in their bodies and in their symptoms just by getting back to basics with root cause nutrition, and that's what I do. So it's amazing how they can feel so much better in such a short time, no matter how long they've been feeling so bad. So I'd like to show you how you can do that as well. All right, so first, I just want to explain how this program that I'll be talking to you a little about came to be. So I kind of told you about that a little bit, how I started working on my own nutrition, but I get it, because you just want to make yourself feel better, and you're almost willing to do whatever, anything, spend whatever it is, take whatever shake or pill or bar or whatever it is just to feel better. And what I am saying is I totally understand that, but sometimes you need to get back to basics, like I mentioned before, start with something with someone who understands, and then get the momentum of feeling better, because as you gain momentum, you start feeling better and you start doing better, you start releasing the weight, and all things, it just makes you feel a lot better, and there is hope. You don't have to just suffer through this. So let's talk about one of these people who struggled and suffered for many years. So this is Darlene. She is someone who suffered with migraines for 14 years. You might be able to relate to her. She also came to me, on thyroid medications, and she had been seeing a chiropractor for adjustments and doing acupuncture to relieve those symptoms of her headaches. for years. And it did help. It just didn't stay. So it helped for a couple of days at a time, and then it would come right back. So she was dealing with that for a long time. She travels a lot with her family and has a busy lifestyle. She's going around the country visiting family. So she is on planes and driving and not in her own element a lot. She does not like to cook or take time to cook or meal prep. So that was another obstacle that we needed to work around. So she came to me and we put her through this program. And because of it, she was able to relieve her migraines. When I talked to her after the first month or so of going through the program, she reported that after that time frame, 6 to 7 weeks later, that she had not had a migraine. One of the other things that she came to me for and was struggling with, but it was lower on the list, was her gut health was severely impaired, and she did have stomach pains on a regular basis. And so those were relieved, greatly improved. And she also lost some weight. That was far down on the list of things, of challenges that she wanted to resolve. And she absolutely got benefit of that. She lost around 10 pounds or so in that first 28 days. So the best thing about it is that she worked this program into her life and not so much the other way around. So she didn't have to drastically change her food and do all this crazy meal prep with fancy foods in order to get the symptoms that she wanted to get under control. All right, some things that people say on a regular basis, I hear this often. Have you ever said to yourself, nothing I do helps me lose weight? I have a thyroid problem. So the thing is that it is really frustrating. It's so defeating when you have a thyroid problem, when you have so many symptoms going on, and weight loss seems to be just non-existent for people. So what I will say about that is there might be some other complications or other things that make it a little bit more difficult when you do have a thyroid problem. In the first place, I would say you need to start is by looking at your medications and making sure they're regulated correctly with your doctor. This program helps you to identify some of those things and gives you the knowledge you need to talk with your doctor about that. So it can be a little trickier, but there's many things to consider when you're dealing with thyroid and trying to lose weight. We need to deal with stress, we need to deal with hormones like insulin, and we need to deal with our sleep. And so the program deals with making sure that you're eating enough. You're actually not going to be cutting the calories on this. You're going to be focusing on real whole foods, and you're going to be looking at the timing that it takes, the timing that you'll be eating. And the program also highlights the nutrients that are beneficial for the thyroid to function as best as it can. Here's another thing I hear a lot of people say, and it's just so common, and it's so wrong and misguided. So have you ever said to yourself, counting calories doesn't work for me? You know, if you've said that, which most people have, it's because it doesn't work. So the whole calories in, calories out model is just very simplistic. And in a perfect world, maybe that's how it works. And a lot of times people will go on a calorie reduction type of program and they will lose weight initially, but it's not sustainable. It doesn't stay because your body starts to downregulate. It starts to be able to use less and less calories to function. And so you can even start to gain weight with reduced calories when you get into this vicious cycle of cutting calories. So that's what I'm here to say. It's not about the calories, it's about hormones. So we're going to be dealing with hormones that are controlled by blood sugar. We're also going to be dealing with hormones like leptin and ghrelin. You may have heard of those. Those are hormones that counteract each other, and one causes you to be hungry. It gives you those hunger signals, and the other one shuts those off when you're supposed to be satisfied, when you've had enough food. Those are all out of whack. From either years of low-calorie dieting or eating junky foods, or just having a thyroid condition in the first place. So it's all connected. So when you're eating so often, like we've been trained to eat, you know, a lot of us have been told that we should eat every couple hours to make sure our metabolism is boosted and all that kind of thing. That's not necessarily the case. You know, we maybe need to start out that way, and then learn how to change that, and by what we eat and by the quality of the food we eat. And so once we do that, we can address some of those hormones, and therefore symptoms start to subside. All right, so this one, I hear this a ton too, and I've been there myself because of my thyroid condition. So, are you just even too tired and don't even care anymore about cooking, eating, and certainly not meal planning? So this is something that is so common when someone has a thyroid condition or other chronic illness. And what happens is, we're just so tired and defeated that we can't even get there. So this program, it actually takes a lot less time because you're dealing with the when you're eating and not the how often. So your focus is on the timing that you're going to be eating, not on preparing and making sure you're packing lunches and snacks, 6 times a day, making sure that, some people even eat 10 times a day. I've heard that. And that's a lot of time in the kitchen and planning and preparing and shopping for groceries. So you're going to be able to do this and not eat so often because you're going to be focusing on real foods, not calories. And like I said several times now, it's about getting back to basics with your food. So, cutting out all the food rules that you've learned over the years and just starting to learn what foods actually make your body feel good and putting those, connecting those dots. So by doing so, you're going to help improve your sleep, and that helps you manage the stress, which is something that people with chronic illness really have a hard time with and needs to get under control before other things can heal and for weight loss to release, or for weight to release. So just a few things about how this program is different. This program is different because, like I said, it gets back to basics. There's not all these crazy rules you have to follow and without any understanding of it. We're going back to just real whole foods. You're not going to be counting calories. The only way that you're really considering calories is to making sure you're getting enough of them. That's the whole premise behind that with a thyroid condition. You're not going to need to eat all the time. And I put need in all caps because I hear this a lot. I have to eat every 2 hours or my blood sugar drops. Well, when you know what to do and you make the corrections, you don't have to eat like that anymore. It's not even good for us. You're going to eat foods that support thyroid health. There's a lot of nutrients that help the thyroid function better than without those nutrients. When you have deficiencies in those, the thyroid doesn't work that well, even if you're on medication. So this program helps you to identify where you might have holes in your nutrition and making sure that you get that in your program. So this kind of goes back to the other things we've talked about, but we're addressing hunger and satiety. So getting back to balance of, your body telling you when you're hungry, but your body needs to tell you you're full rather than just keep eating or having to eat an hour later or 2 hours later. That's going to be a result. And the best part probably about this program is that you work the program into your schedule, not the other way around. So this plan can be customized to your needs very easily. Now, I've talked about timing a lot, and there's this concept out there called intermittent fasting, which seems to be all the rage. But when you think about fasting over, centuries, cultures and religions have been doing this for different reasons for forever. This is nothing new. But the way we do this in modern times is a little bit different. Our lifestyles have changed obviously over those years, but what we need to do now is get away from, like I said, getting back to basics, getting away from all those patterns and habits of eating all the time to eating when our body actually needs to eat and wants to eat. So intermittent fasting is really just an eating pattern. There's no specific diet. It's not a diet plan, and I don't like to use those words, but it's not a diet per se. It's a way of eating, a timing of eating, and it goes with your schedule and your goals. So it is designed to help balance hormones. It's a process that's in our just innately in our system that allows us to keep our hormones balanced, like the insulin, the ghrelin, the leptin, the cortisol. It also helps to improve human growth hormone, which is responsible for many, many things, but just, with regard to weight loss, it helps with body composition. This helps to reset the hunger signals and stop cravings, which is what keeps people, struggling to eat healthy long term, more than a week or a couple months or, at most. So this is what intermittent fasting is about. And with this program, I've tweaked it to support any underlying thyroid condition or any other chronic condition. So in this program, you will learn how to address blood sugar. That's basically where I start with everybody. By addressing blood sugar, you will address the insulin hormone, which is the fat storage hormone. By doing this program, you will learn how you can balance those hunger and satiety hormones as well as the stress hormones. And you will adjust your eating pattern. Like I said, you can work this program into your life. It doesn't have to be the other way around. And by doing all of these things, you are managing your stress levels, which is a killer for people with a thyroid condition. We all deal with stress. We all have stress in our everyday lives. We're never going to really get away from it, but it's how we manage it, on the inside and outside that affects how we feel. So by doing some of these things internally, it affects you and gets you healthier on the cellular level so that you can, manage life and weight with regard to that. So this program helps do that. All right, so who can benefit from the 28-day intermittent thyroid reset program? I mean, I honestly could probably just put the words everyone on here, but I just wanted to call out some categories of people on this slide. So obviously busy people. I've talked about how it can be a time saver because you're not chopping, cutting, preparing, making meals, 6 to 10 times a day. This is for people who don't like to meal prep and who don't like to cook. So it kind of goes along the lines of that busy person. So you are going to have to, prep some meals. You're going to have to eat, some better foods, but it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be fancy, weird ingredients that are hard to find. If you have a thyroid condition or some other kind of health condition that is chronic, this program can benefit you because it's going to deal with some of the other issues that people with those conditions have and have to deal with. If you have poor gut health, which if you may have heard this before, if you followed me too, that if you have a thyroid condition, you also have a gut condition. So if you're a thyroid patient, you're a gut health patient. So this program can help kind of reset your gut health as well and get that on track. And while doing so, you are then going to be better able to absorb nutrients and nutrients that are good for thyroid. Therefore, you start to feel better in general. When you are feeling sick, so some people, and this is me prior to my diagnosis, some people just feel sick. They maybe don't have a diagnosis. They just feel malaise. They feel really low energy. They have headaches a lot. They have aches and pains. They might feel nauseous. That's someone who could benefit from this program, even though they don't have a diagnosis. And then those who've hit their rock bottom, if you've hit it, it, you're there. I'd like to keep you from getting to that place or finding a new rock bottom. But I'm thinking the people who have hit this can do this because I have, developed this over a lot of time and figured this out for myself. And the other thing is that people who are just ready to try that one more thing. So it's very easy, like I said in a previous slide, it's very easy to want to look for the quick fix, the latest fad to get quick results. And yet that the results are probably going to be fleeting or non-existent. And so if you're sort of at that point and you're not sure of just one more thing, if you want to invest the time, the money, whatever it is into one more thing because you're skeptical, totally get it. But this plan can help you out with that, I promise. And I want to talk to you about one more person who found success. And her name is Julie. She came to me out of frustration, and she's one of those people that dealt with a lot of pain. And I hear that a lot with thyroid patients, that they have a lot of muscular pain or even some bone pain and just random aches and pains. So she came to me on thyroid medications and had been dealing with this severe muscle pain. That's how she described it, was severe, for the last 5 years. And she kind of did all the right things. She was very knowledgeable about her food. She really researched it. She ate pretty well in general. And she sought out massage and chiropractic acupuncture regularly. And again, the results were good for the first few days. She felt better, but it always just lingered back. And she really, really struggled with simple things like sitting at her job. She had a desk job. She struggled going out to dinner with her family and friends. Just sitting through a nice meal was painful. It was excruciating for her. So she was so frustrated, exhausted, and worn out from all of this. So she went through the program, and again, in the first 28 days of the program, she saw huge improvements, reported a 75% improvement in muscle pain. That's huge. She was able to go to work and not have to get up and move around constantly. She was able to go out and enjoy dinner with her family and friends. She did this program while she was traveling for fun, while she was traveling for work. And a side benefit, kind of like the other person, she also had improved gut health, and she also had the benefit of losing 10 pounds. So her first goal was to deal with the muscle pain. Her second goal was the gut health that she knew was kind of an issue, but it wasn't as severe as the muscle. And she got all of that within that first 28 days. So it's pretty amazing when you can make a program work into your lifestyle. It's a lot more sustainable. All right, so talked about this a few more times, but let's just break it down. Or I've talked about this before. Let's just break it down again into who this program has helped or how this program has helped. So it's helped because it's decreased people's insulin, which is the fat storage hormone. It helps people eat well and stay on track because you're going to have better satiety. You're going to be more satisfied with the foods you're eating, and you're going to have a lot less cravings or no cravings at all. You're going to improve your energy and sleep better, which then helps improve your stress, your ability to manage stress, and also the aches and pains, including headaches. Those can be eliminated or significantly reduced. And the result of healing all of those things underlying is weight loss. If you have inflammation, if you have imbalanced hormones, weight loss is going to be really difficult. But once you resolve some of those things, weight loss starts to happen. Your body will let it go. So what's in this program? So the program is called the 28-Day Intermittent Reset for Thyroid program. So it's an online program. It's full of education portals. There's modules that go through what intermittent fasting is, what you need to do when you have a thyroid condition and dealing with intermittent fasting, how you manage your blood sugar. It gives you downloadable meal plans. It gives you shopping lists. And there is an exclusive private Facebook group where you will get weekly online consults to help you get through the program. There's a total value of this of over $1,290. And how do I know this works? Well, I developed myself based on my own issues. So I know it works because it deals with people and their food sensitivities, especially those who have them due to a thyroid condition. That's very common. It helps with fatigue, depression, anxiety, and weight gain. And it's needed to find a way to feel better despite what was going on in my life. So I developed it through all of that because I needed to find a way to work it into my life. And so I struggled so much with before and after my cancer diagnosis, and what I did was develop this methodical approach to dealing with that. And once I developed it, and I didn't really even know that this is what it was happening, but I put it to work and it worked for me. And then I brought it to several people to test it out for me, and their results were just as amazing as mine. So this included people like chronic disease. They traveled relentlessly for work. They celebrated birthdays and holidays, and they dealt with something really tragic in their life. And the thing is, they still made progress without having to be perfect. And sometimes we get into that as well with a lot of quick fixes and fad diets, is that we, feel like we're either on or off the program. This is not how this is. And then that actually does more damage to your body and to the psyche as well. So they avoided going back into that way of thinking and acting, and they added to their health rather than took away from their health by going to the next latest craze. So the time is now. There's always going to be obstacles in your way. What is 4 weeks? You can start to see, that's what I wanted to press on you, that you can in 4 weeks make a huge stride in your life and start to feel really, really good. Time is so valuable. And if you are so tired of starting over, who isn't? It's exhausting. Just don't quit in the first place. Start something that you know is going to work for you. And don't think of it as only a 28-day plan. You're not going to be either on this for 28 days and then off this for 28 days. It's a lifelong process. Don't look at it as another quick fix. Look at it for long-lasting results. This plan is reproducible. It's sustainable. You will be able to access this stuff whenever you want, wherever you need it, from the comfort of your own home, for the life of the program. You will always be able to access it and be able to be a part of the information that comes in that's new and updated, and you will have this ongoing. So this is something that is a long-term plan. So I want to offer you this special deal today because you spent the time with me to hear me out. And I want to tell you, I said the offer before, the value before was over $1,290, and regularly priced program for the online program is $147. And today I'm going to offer it for $97, but you also get bonuses if you act in the next 48 hours. So I'm going to put in the chat box the link to the program with the coupon code for that $50 off. So you can get started on that today. And if you choose to do so, you, like I said, will get those bonuses, and this will be really complimentary and helpful to your program that you're doing. So the first thing you get are meal planning templates. So the meal planning templates are just a simple tool that I developed to help you plan your meals. Look at your pantry, look at your refrigerator, and then go to the grocery store with it and not buy things that you thought you had already but you didn't, or vice versa. So it gets to be more cost effective and time efficient when you go and plan your meals and go to the grocery store. You're also going to get a coupon code for my Whole Food Eating for Thyroid Health online program. Again, all at your disposal whenever you need it, however you want to access it. And for the life of the program, you get $50 off of that program. It's a very good complement to this 28-day reset program. And then the other thing I want to offer you is the free supplement guide to thyroid support. So this is another online portal. I get asked all the time what supplements you should be taking with a thyroid problem, and because of a thyroid problem and being on medications and depending on what other symptoms someone has going on, you need to be pretty careful about that. And this guide helps you through that, and so that you can choose whether you want to purchase supplements or not. I give really good quality recommendations in there as well. What you do with that is up to you, but that is going to be free for you if you purchase this program in the next 48 hours. All right, so are you ready to get started? I mean, you can sign up in the next 48 hours, get those bonuses, get your eating and symptoms under control in the next 28 days, improve sleep, decrease your anxiety, and what a lot of people are probably here for is you will be able to lose weight for sure. This is something that I know will happen for you if you just jump on board and get started with it. So I really thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it's been informative for you. I'll be sending out the replay very soon, but you can join the program now. Like I said, it's in the chat box. You can go ahead and click on that, and the code is in there. It's called Reset50. That's the code for the $50 off the program. You get this for $97. This is a great offer. It's a one-time investment. And the thing about it is, if you think about how you've spent money recently, you probably have spent money, you probably spent less than $100, just under $100 on a meal out with friends recently. It doesn't take much. This would be a one-time investment that you would have a long-term benefits of going through the program. So another thing I would like to do is offer to invite you to follow me if you don't already on my website, rockbottomwellness.com, and my Facebook page by the same name, Rock Bottom Wellness. And I also have a nutrition for thyroid health health group on Facebook. So hope to see you in there, and I hope you take advantage of this offer. And I look forward to helping you out. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.